be shut?
And it's the one where you spit in the man's face too. Go ahead.
Should she not be ashamed 7 days? Let her be shut out from the camp 7 days, and after that, let her be received in again. And Miriam was shut out from the camp 7 days, and the people journeyed not till Miriam was brought in again. So the people are waiting. So think about this. The people are waiting for that process to end.
Right.
Think about the embarrassment, the shame that is. Miriam is leprous, and the whole camp know it. Because the Lord wants the whole camp to know as an example, right? And they gotta wait. They can't go no further until that's completed. Because 7 days represent completion. Until it's completed, then he'll give her pigmentation back, whatever, and she keep going on her way.
Right, right.
So now the women know, if I talk back, that could happen to me, or even put to death, or even worse, right? Suffering, and then put to death.
Found one. Always examples made for the whole nation, you know?
Right. But an Israelite woman that came to the truth, right? She'll read that story and not think about herself.
Right.
To think about it.
She above
An Israelite woman will read this story and not take heed. See, there are things that women have to take heed that pertains to them within the order of Yahweh Shema Shai.
Right.
Okay? If you want the Lord to receive you as a daughter, well, there's as a daughter of Yahweh Shema Shai, you Shabbat Shalom, you said, oh, you got the bun shaking on top. Okay, there are things you got to pay attention to so that you don't fall. These things are written for our example. You don't talk to a man, let alone a man of the Lord, any kind of way you want. All that shit coming to an end, man.
Maybe that was a custom, but there's a law in Deuteronomy 25 where a man is spit in his face, but what Moses is talking about was most likely a custom where if the daughter was shameful to her father, he could spit in her face. And for 7 days, she would basically have to go outside of the camp.
She'd be unclean.
She would be unclean. And basically, that's what Miriam had to do. All right? Now, read that.
Deuteronomy 7:1.
Right. Now, a lot of people use this scripture when we bring up the fact that Israelite men can and have dealt with heathen women. They bring this out. Now, of course, you're supposed to be, it's going to be us and our women. All right, that's your wife. You're not supposed to make marriages with the heathen. Okay, heathen are supposed to be concubines. She don't have the status of an Israelite wife.
Right.
But there is a law on how to have a concubine, man.
Right.
So what people do when we bring that point up, they bring out points in the scriptures where the Lord told us not to make marriages. Yes, there were certain times where Israel was so out of order, the Lord says separate completely from them.
Right, focus.
Because they're not in order.
Right.
Solomon, he didn't do it. See, David, when he conquered the heathen and he took concubines from amongst them nations, he didn't bow to their gods.
Right.
It tells you he had concubines, but he didn't bow to their gods. Solomon did.
Yep.
Right.
So it needs to be in order when you have a concubine. Jake has historically done things out of order. Like at the time of Nehemiah, they were raising their children to speak the language of the heathen and not their own language.
Right.
That's when it's like, y'all going too far.
Right.
Right? But let's get Deuteronomy 7 and read what it's really talking about so you brothers will know how to defend this, because a lot of people will bring this out, but they're not going into the context of what it's talking about. Go ahead.
Right.
Deuteronomy 7:1. When the Lord thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee,
Right.
the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou.
Now, these are the nations who were inhabiting the Holy Land. When you read the promise that was given unto Abraham, the Lord told him, these are the nations that are in that land right now. You can get that in Genesis, the 15th chapter. Okay, and they had to fulfill their iniquity. When their iniquity was fulfilled, the Lord sent our forefathers in there to put them, you know, to tear down their altars and exterminate them. That was the order. Read that, go ahead.
Verse 2, and when the Lord thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them.
Right.
Thou shalt make no covenant with them,
No covenant.
nor show them mercy, or Salakia, nor show mercy unto them.
Right. Keep going.
Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son,
Right.
nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son.
So what Jake will do is they'll read that and they'll make that to try to make that apply to every
the end all be all.
the end all be all.
Right.
It was talking about them 7 specific
It was talking
Hamite
about
nations.
those 7 specific nations,
Yep.
man. Because somebody get Deuteronomy 21 and 10. Because later on, it's going to tell you how to deal with the ones you do deal with. Some more?
That's right.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's pretty much the point about the nations.
Yep. Yeah, read the next verse.
Verse 4, yep, Deuteronomy 7 and 4. For they will turn, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods.
Right.
So
that was the real problem with Jake and the other nations, is they would serve their gods.
Yep.
Now, if that's your argument today, what nation of women are calling on men, Israelite men, to serve other gods? I'll wait. You get with the Elamite woman and she telling you bow to Vishnu. You get with the Chinese, they telling you come to the dragon parade. Big dragon. They ain't telling you to come to that shit. It's the Israelite woman, so-called black, Hispanic, and Native woman, telling you to come to church. Let me read you. Let me give you a reading.
Oh, them niggas.
You like, God damn, she's smelling good. Look at, let me give you a reading. And you look to the left, it's an altar.
vision board.
That's fast and fast.
Your rising sun.
Good grand rising king.
You know.
This funky hoe.
Ooh,
Just come to church. You could do this. Maybe if you get with an Arab woman, they're gonna tell you, look, if we go get married, you gotta bow to Allah, nigga.
Right.
But other than that, really, these heathen don't be telling Jake, pulling Jake to bow to other gods. It's the Israelite woman.
Hey, it was a Jake woman came out here about a year ago. She had them dreads. She had a card, like a food. She was watching us for a little bit. So I talked to her for a second, and she gave me her card with a number on it, talking about, she do catering. Now I talked to the girl for a little bit. Grand Rising, the same thing. Grand Rising, trying to get me to go to this settlement to worship some other gods and meet their elders of this type. I'm like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I cut out so goddamn quick.
We got some land.
That's facts.
Come to the forest. They can eat mushrooms.
Right. I said, hell
what are
no.
y'all niggas doing?
I said, bye.
The ancestors.
Yeah, I said, bye.
The ancestors are laughing at you niggas, man.
Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 10.
These are chapters later. The Lord has given us an order, which all nations, when you go into history, I don't understand why you people are so bugged out. Like Sonetta TV, they make a big deal. So you get to go into a land and pillage and take the women? That has historically happened through the whole world. But just because this is a holy book, we can't have an order on how to do it.
Well, don't you believe that we're the best seed? Shouldn't you want us to spread our seed the most? Right? They'll tell you how the black man is this and that and God, and wouldn't you want him to spread his seed the most? Right?
Logic. That's logic.
Bro, even the African nations, when they took down other nations, they got their women. That is a historical, but Jake looks at it as barbaric, but no, we did it in order. Here's the order. Go ahead.
Deuteronomy 21 and 10. When thou goest forth to war against thine enemies, and the Lord thy power have delivered them into thine hands.
Now, Tazaria said this talking about other Israelites. All right, bro.
How, nigga?
Yeah, when we take down other Israelites and he deliver them, go ahead.
And thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman.
Right, you didn't just tore this nation down. Now you on your horse and you driving off and you go, oh shit.
Exactly.
Help.
Yes.
Hold up. I said, stop, nigga. Get off the horse. Come here. You all right?
Yeah.
You okay? You be all right. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Right.
Horse choking and shit.
And has a desire unto her.
Yeah, you tell your servants, go get her. Go get her,
That's right.
clean her up. Go ahead.
That thou wouldest have her to thy wife.
Start over, Salakia.
Right. It said, verse 10, when thou goest to war, when thou goest forth to war against thine enemies,
Right.
and the Lord thy power have delivered them unto thine hands,
Right.
and thou hast taken them captive, and seest among the captives a beautiful woman,
Right.
and has a desire unto her, that thou wouldest have her to thy wife, then thou shalt bring her home to thine house, and she shall shave her head and pare her nails.
Because them heathens did rituals surrounding their hair and the nails. And that represent a regrowth, a rebirth. You're putting off the old, baby. Now it's all about Yahweh. Say Yahweh. Yahweh. Right?
That's right.
Go ahead.
And she shall put the raiment of her captivity from off her, and shall remain in thine house, and bewail her father and her mother a full month.
Right. So after a full month, go ahead.
And after that thou shalt go in unto her.
Now, why did you bewail her mother and father? Because they most likely died in the war when you took that nation down.
Right.
Because there were other nations outside of those Hamite nations. Okay? You had Amalekites there, you had Ammonites there, Moabites. Go ahead.
Right. And thou shalt go in unto her, and be her husband.
What does that mean, go in unto her?
Beat the cakes.
Pound town.
You know?
Marriage.
Marriage. Yeah, marriage.
It's a covenant.
Exactly.
Now she's not the status of an Israelite wife. She don't get the status of an Israelite wife. However, hey, a win, that's a win.
Right.
You didn't die,
Right.
and now you in the house of one of the top men of this
You
nation.
can bear seed.
Women have historically done that. Our women, when the Edomite took over,
Yep. Pocahontas.
they eventually were like, nigga, I'm with the white man.
Yeah.
The weaker vessel.
I mean, that's just how women move. Women are gonna put
Power.
themselves in the best position to be comfortable,
Absolutely.
to survive. Men are gonna die fighting, like fuck that, y'all ain't for the. But the woman will be like, fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah, she'll bow down.
That's just the nature of a woman. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's called. That's the word booty. Goes back to what? Spoils of war. You take down a nation, and you get the. Hey, and we did that. The nation of Israel did. You go to the what we did to the Midianites. Okay, in the book of Numbers.
In the book of Maccabees, they did it to us as a nation.
They
said,
did that
you
to
gotta
us.
bow to these motherfuckers,
Right.
you're gonna be put to death.
Well, get somebody get Lamentations, the 5th chapter. They ravished the daughters of Zion.
Let me finish this real quick.
Yep, finish that.
It says, and thou shalt go in unto her and be her husband, and she shall be thy wife, and it shall be, if thou have no delight in her, then thou shalt let her go whither she will.
Right, she just smell like curry.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Just
what,
out
man?
of order,
Yeah,
crying.
yeah. Hey, my daddy, my mama.
Yeah,
You know what,
like,
man?
ugh.
You know what?
Now, wait. Now, that proves one thing that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
If that's talking about another Jacob woman, you can't do it like
That's
that.
what I was thinking. I was just about to say that.
Because you you're married, you can't just, get your ass out of here.
Yeah.
Just because.
Yeah.
So unless you know that's a heathen woman.
Yep.
That's
That's
kind.
another point,
That's
Yep.
good.
It says, then thou shalt let her go whither she will, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money.
Right, because you can basically sell her. If you didn't lay with her, you can sell her as a concubine to another family.
Come on, man.
All right, and this was because women are surrounding transactions, but this is your property.
Right.
You took her. Now you could basically, if you didn't pop her, you can be like, well, I got a fine little Elamite such and such, boom boom. A rich man and give you some money for her.
Mm-hmm.
Even if a poor family was, well, we brought it out the other week. A family that's poor, and they have a beautiful daughter, and they have a family that they know that they're linked with that got money, they could give their daughter to that rich man,
Yeah.
right, and get a pretty penny.
Yep.
But she will go into his house as a wife. That we got all of these laws are in the Bible, but you know who's ashamed to bring it out? IUIC, Sakari,
They're not bringing it up.
ISUPK.
Everybody telling you to keep the law.
Yeah, but then we going into it, and we ain't just making this up. And yeah, we can go to points of the scriptures where Israel were told to leave the heathen women alone. We agree with that. Yes, things got so out of order because Jake didn't do it like that.
Right, that's right.
They let her keep the nails. They let her keep the hair. They just take her.
Keep
She's
the
still
gods.
calling on her gods.
Right. Exactly doing things.
Yeah, so at that point, stop.
Yeah.
Niggas not in order.
Let all things be done decently
Decently
in
in
order.
order. Even
right,
taking
that's right.
the heathen women. See, the heathen do things completely out of order.
Right.
We have an order on how to do these things because these are ancient customs. This is how things went down in the ancient world. Nations will roll on another nation, take their asses down, and take their women. That's a ancient custom.
Yep. All right.
Hey, get it in numbers too.
Right.
Go ahead.
It says, but thou shalt not sell her at all for money. Thou shalt not make merchandise of her, because thou hast humbled her. Okay? So if you went in onto her and you popped her, you couldn't sell her for money and treat her like a slave, man.
Right, but you can just let her ass
You just
out.
gotta let her go. Because that'll make you kind of like,
Yeah.
a whoremonger.
Unrighteous.
know?
Yep. Things were to be done decently and in order, man. Okay, so yeah, you have Deuteronomy 7, but when Jake be bringing that out, that's talking about specifically the 7 Hamite nations. But as you read later, we read the law on how to deal with the nations that you can take. Point blank period.
Right.
Okay?